Morning Year 11, how are you all? Hope you're all well, hope you're all staying safe, hope you're all staying in the house. What a very strange time we're currently living in. I must say I would much rather be back in my classroom right now teaching you all. It's not nice being at home. Okay, so I'm going to make a few videos. I'm going to try, you're not allowed to laugh, on some of the more difficult bits and pieces from the last few topics that we have to get through. I know that it is a very strange time, it's a very difficult time, but we need to get through this. You're going to do this module at some point, so we do need to finish the course. We can't leave this until we go back to school in September, because the Year 12 course is jam-packed enough as it is without having to finish Year 11 as well. So I'm going to make a few of these videos to help you. You can watch them, maybe pause them, take down some of the notes, but at this point you should have taken all of the notes on these topics, or this hormone bit anyway, and this maybe just will help reinforce some of it. Now I hope this works, I hope it stays in focus for me, and there are also two golden retrievers at my feet, so if you hear any strange noises, that would be the two dogs. Right, so what we're going to start with today is a little bit on homeostasis. Anyone who's done or is doing health and social care, you've done a full task, I'm pretty sure, on homeostasis, so this should be at least familiar to you. But what is homeostasis? And a few examples of it. Homeostasis is the body's ability to maintain a constant internal environment, no matter what is going on the outside. So things like temperature, heart rate, breathing rate. If you think of those three things, if you were to go out and do some exercise, they're all going to increase. Your heart rate's going to go up, your breathing rate's going to go up, and your temperature's going to go up, all for a very good reason, but they can't stay increased. They have to come back down to normal. And that's what homeostasis is, the ability to return lots of different things within the body back to its normal rate. So a couple of examples are temperature, breathing, heart rate. Other ones would be blood glucose, which I'm going to talk about in more detail, and water content of the blood. Now, the only two that we look at in any great detail at GCSE is the water content, which is called osmoregulation, and blood glucose, which is what I'm going to go into in more detail in this video. So although homeostasis encompasses all of these different things, we're only going to concentrate on two of them. But just remember that homeostasis isn't just about blood glucose, or it isn't just about the water content. It is the overall ability for the body to bring all of these things back to a rate that is normal within your body. Okay, so why are we talking about this in this topic? Because we are doing about hormones. It's the second half of our communication topic. The first half I was able to teach you before we went off, and it was all about the nervous system and electrical impulses and all of that, whereas the hormone system, it's a bit slower. It is chemical messages this time rather than electrical messages, and instead of being carried in neurons, it's carried in the blood. And make sure you know all of those differences. There should be in your notes that you've taken down from the PowerPoint. It's a very common exam question, list the difference or list two differences between the nervous system and the hormone system. So hormones are released from glands, which is one of our effectors, if you remember back to the beginning of the nervous system topic, and they work in a target organ. So they are released from a gland, but then they tend to travel and work somewhere else, and they travel in the blood. Now, we're going to look in this video at one specific type of homeostasis, and that is to control the blood glucose levels, and then the hormone that carries that out. Okay, so we have got a blood glucose level that is normal, that our blood glucose level should be at. So we're going to put that in the centre, so normal blood glucose. Now, at times, your blood glucose level will increase. For example, if you've eaten something, blood glucose level will go up. Now, Now, what is important, and this is very, very common in a mark scheme answer, is that you remember that the body is constantly monitoring this. So it's not just, you eat something and then the body decides, oh, we must check if the blood glucose levels have changed. The body constantly monitors this. So constantly monitoring. And what happens then when the body realises, oh, blood glucose levels went up, this is dangerous, because we don't want our blood glucose levels to go up. It can actually damage the cells if blood glucose levels remain too high for too long. So a hormone is released. So the pancreas then releases the hormone insulin. So this is a hormone. Now, if you remember back to the last page, we know that the hormone doesn't actually work where it's released. It has to travel to the target organ. But insulin does a couple of things. Now, it is important to remember that if you were to be asked, what does insulin do? You cannot say that insulin controls blood glucose levels. It does in a way, but it has to be more specific than that. You have to say that insulin decreases or lowers blood glucose levels. And it does this in a couple of ways. It increases respiration. Think back to your equation for respiration. Respiration uses glucose. So therefore, if you increase respiration, more glucose is going to be used up. It converts some of that glucose. So we've got excess glucose over here. We need to get rid of it. So we'll convert it. We'll take it and we'll change it into something else. We'll convert it to something called glycogen. Now, this gets very easily muddled up because we've got glucose and glycogen. So it gets converted to glycogen and stored in the liver. So it basically takes the glucose, breaks it all down, builds it back up in a different form, and then puts it away and stores it away to be used at another time. So it's no longer in the form of glucose. And the last thing that it does, it increases the absorption of glucose. So all of these things are bringing those blood glucose levels back down to normal. Where in this case is our target organ? Our target organ is the liver. So the hormone is insulin. It is released from the pancreas, but it does its work in the liver. And this then brings blood glucose levels back to normal. And then if blood glucose levels were to peak again, the body is still monitoring it. The pancreas would release more insulin again. Remember that insulin lowers blood glucose levels. It doesn't control it, it lowers it. And it lowers it by doing these three things: increasing respiration, converting glucose to glycogen, and increasing the absorption of glucose. Now, similarly, if blood glucose levels decrease, that can also be dangerous. So blood glucose levels, this time maybe somebody hasn't eaten something for long enough, blood glucose levels have dropped. And again, body constantly monitors. So it realises, nope, humans' blood glucose levels got too low, we need to do something about it. Now, the pancreas this time releases a hormone, but it's not insulin. You just have to know about this hormone, but they've actually taken it off your spec. It was a hormone called glucagon. But as long as you know that it's not insulin this time, it's a completely different hormone. And this, to keep it really simple, basically does the exact opposite to what we talked about up here. So it decreases respiration, converts all that glycogen that we stored up here, we can convert it now back to glucose. And we can decrease absorption. And these three things then will bring our blood glucose levels back to normal. So let's recap that one. Blood glucose levels have decreased. Body constantly monitoring this and realises the pancreas releases a hormone. It's not insulin this time, it's a different hormone, and this then decreases respiration. If there's less respiration happening, then there's going to be less glucose being used up. It takes some of that glycogen that we stored away in the liver earlier and converts it back to glucose. I've got me either. And it decreases the absorption of glucose. So basically the exact opposite to what happened up here, and blood glucose level then is returned to normal. Now, this could be described as a negative feedback mechanism. And a negative feedback mechanism is just the ability to ensure that the concentration does not move too far from what is normal or what is healthy. So the ability to bring everything back to normal. So if you were to ask to describe a negative feedback mechanism, you would just describe what we have talked about here. Now, this then leads you on to what happens if somebody cannot regulate their blood glucose levels properly, and that is if somebody has diabetes, both type 1 and type 2. I'm not going to talk through that in a video because it's pretty self-explanatory to be honest. So if you've used your notes, you've used the textbook, it's not too bad as long as you know the different types of diabetes, what causes them. You need to know the symptoms of diabetes, and you need to know the long-term effects of diabetes as well. Very, very common questions, so don't skip over it. But you should manage that one okay by yourself. So I'm going to leave this video here, and I'm going to come back with another video and do osmoregulation, which is another type of homeostasis. Wee bit trickier, but hopefully if I go through it in a video it'll help. So I hope this was useful, and I will talk to you in the next video.